signboard. I encourage all of you to go and have a look. We are yet to move the those who work in bamboo and rattan there, but plans are far advanced to move them there from about 4 different parts of Accra. The Spintex Road area, the area in cantonments near Flair Catering, which I'm sure you know about. Some are also on the motorway extension, etc. We're going to move them all there and concentrate them and find them tools, bring training to their doorstep, and improve their efficiency in the use of bamboo and products of bamboo. Now, let me move on to the National Forest Plantation Development Program. Out there, the exhibition. Have you all looked at the exhibition? You probably saw the forest projects, plantation programs. The National Forest Plantation Program is a program adapted by government to restore the country's degraded forest landscapes. At the turn of the century, in the 1900s, Ghana had a very, very impressive forest cover indeed, but that has largely been depleted. And since 2010, when the program for plantation development was relaunched, which is very important, if you like, pillar of my ministry, a total of 21,665 hectares, which is about, for those who do not use metric, which is about 54,163 acres, has been planted, and about 2,167 jobs have been created. The strategy adopted by the program involves the incorporation of food crop production in the early stages of the plantation development. You must have seen that also in the exhibits, and thus increasing food production in the plantation areas. So we, at the beginning, when the trees are planted, the seedlings, we allow food crops in between. But as the trees grow and the timber, that is the girth of the trees, enlarging, we then stop and do not allow any more food production to allow the tree to expand and grow. National Forest Plantation Program continued. Currently, due to limited funding, the strategy is to maintain all plantations that have been established since 2002. Currently, over 140,000 hectares, which again, for those who like acres, is about 350,000 acres, of such plantations are being maintained by the Forestry Commission. Government recognizes the importance of the program. Therefore, all efforts are being made to secure sustainable and predictable funding for it. I mentioned earlier in my presentation that government is moving away from timberization and going on to ecotourism. So here, I'll speak a bit about ecotourism. At the Mole National Park, the ministry, through the Forestry Commission, has expanded facilities in the park by constructing 25 luxury tented camps for tourists. You can all be internal tourists, so I encourage you to go there. It's very beautiful. Similarly, in the Shire Hills, 3 luxury bed tented camps have been constructed in collaboration with Leadership for Conservation Africa to attract more investors to the facility. Protection of the Atiwa Rainforest Reserve. The Atiwa Rainforest Reserve is the source of the River Densu, Ayensu, and Birim, which provide the main sources of water to our city, Accra. Recently, the reserve has come under a massive attack from Galamsey and chainsaw operators. To address this menace or threat, the government is considering raising its status to a national park to increase its protection. Currently, the ministry is in discussions with 2 non-governmental organizations, Permian Global and A-Rocha Ghana, to develop the modalities for managing the reserve as the national park in conjunction with the Forestry Commission. The Dutch government is also supporting these NGOs with initial funding for the creation of community awareness regarding the proposed project. And I would now like to speak a bit about challenges. Major challenges of the subsector include dwindling government budgetary allocations for forest management activities, particularly for the Forest Plantation Development Program, inadequate private sector investments in the forestry sector, illegal chainsaw operations and operators, illegal mining in forest reserves, and again, you must have seen in the exhibition all kinds of pictures showing you what's going on in the forest. Chainsaw, mining, illegal mining, and general degradation of the landscape around us. I'd like to speak a bit now about subsector programs and projects, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. I'll speak now about the land administration projects. Again, those who saw the exhibition saw a little bit about that. In order to improve land administration systems in Ghana for more efficient delivery of land services and to promote investments in all sectors of the economy, the ministry initiated the implementation of the land administration project in 2003. And initially, there was a phase 1, which ended in 2011. Now we are in phase 2, which is land administration project LAP Lab 2. And that started in the same year, 2011. The overall objective of LAP is to consolidate and strengthen urban and rural land administration and the management systems for efficient and transparent land service delivery. For those who like figures, the project duration for first phase, for the current phase rather, is 5 years. The project funding is overall is $59 million United States dollars. The implementation of the Land Administration Project Lab 2 has enabled my ministry to address a number of issues within the land subsector, and these include improvement in mapping and spatial data for land administration, digitization of land records to facilitate easy access to information on land registration. You know, this word digitization, try and say it, it's not easy, you know. If you're not careful, you get a tongue twister. Now, let me continue. Clearing of backlog of land applications, establishment of customer services and access units to increase access to land service delivery, survey and mapping policies, improvement in customary land administration, and so on. Furthermore, we have worked on improved maps and spatial data for land administration within the project. And therefore, to improve and sustain spatial information services by producing up-to-date database maps by December 2015. Orthophoto maps, you can imagine what that means. It means you fly into the air and then you take pictures using aircraft, either piloted or remotely, drones. But in this case, I believe they use piloted aircraft. Now, this area in the northern region which has been covered so far is 13,000 square kilometers. And the southern sector, up to 12,000 square kilometers, have been covered. And the project is still ongoing. These maps will serve as inputs in developing a number of spatial activities in the country, including the development of guide maps to improve tourism, the street naming address project, and also provide effective inputs into land use physical planning schemes in the country. An additional 4,000 kilometers has also been covered in the Nasia Nabogu Valley, and this is being used by the Ghana Consolidated Agricultural Project to facilitate the design of irrigation systems for its selected pilot areas. Now, land records, there's an ongoing scheme under that project that I've just mentioned, LAP, to digitize land records in order to facilitate easy access to information on land records. The Commission has completed the establishment of a scanning bay and subsequently installed the intelligent scanning equipment to facilitate a migration of its operations from a manual to a digital environment. The scanning of land-related documents, maps, and plans, which began in 2013, is ongoing in all regional offices. Currently, about 20,000 documents have been scanned in the 10 regional offices. The Commission is in the process of establishing Ghana Enterprise Land Information Systems, in short, GELIS, to fully automate land delivery services in the country. And I'm sure you can now see the pictures, the before and then the after. It looks very good, isn't it? Now, some achievements in the land sector. These include clearing of backlog for land applications in Greater Accra. Many of you here, no doubt, would like to be landowners. You may have applied to register land. You may have come across challenges as you try to register your land. So you may be aware that there have been backlogs and you've been going back and forth. Within the LAPSIS project, we intend to make this a thing of the past. So one of the things we've done currently is to try to clear the backlog. And I can say to you that the Commission has carried out a special mop-up exercise and has been able to clear quite a number of the backlog applications. And as at February 2015, over 43,314 applications were cleared, and this covers the period 1988 to 2003. The customer access units. Hope the pictures are on the screen, not yet, eh? You may have seen them at the exhibition. These are one-stop shops, really, and the idea is that an application is lodged and it goes through all the phases or the processes. Then the client comes back and just simply collects all the back and forth, asking people to help you, asking Guru boys to help you. All this, we think, will soon be a thing of the past, and bottlenecks will be reduced. And these one-stop shops are designed to ensure that we limit contact between the applicant, the client, and officers. Often you find that the delays in processing is partly a cause of not speeding up work, but it's partly a cause of people going in constantly seeking to talk to officers who should have been left to carry out their daily duties, and that eats up the time. And I will say this, that the applications are a lot, but now a checklist is being prepared to ensure that when you apply, before your processing is done for your application, we will know exactly whether or not your application should proceed. If it should not, then we'll halt it there and ask you to go back and come with the right documentation before we proceed. Now, the access units in Accra will start operations in June 2015, and soon thereafter, the remainder, which will be in Bolgatanga, Tamale, Kufuor-Adua, and Sekondi, Takoradi, will be commissioned, and the operations of all these units would make a change in the processing and the turnaround time in the processing of land applications. You have the pictures there now. Then the interior, you can see. The interior looks a little bit like a banking hall. It's designed to allow processing. You go to each officer that you need to see if you have to. They'll be behind the glass, and you don't have direct access, but you can speak to them behind the glass, and they will handle your issues for you. There's a Tamale, CSU, Bolgatanga, etc. Then I believe you can also see the Kufuor-Adua. Where is the Kufuor-Adua? This will be Kufuor-Adua. Now, to move on quickly, 3, survey and mapping. You know, we have 3 basics. We have survey and mapping, we have valuation, we have title registration, then we have vested land. We have 4 divisions in all within the Lands Commission. So I'll now move to survey and mapping policies. 3 draft policies have been set out. You can see below. And they've been developed with the overall objective of developing a sustainable integrated geospatial infrastructure for Ghana. And they will also provide for regulation, development, sharing, and coordination of all spatial products generated in the country. You know, whether you want to build a house, whether you want to be a farmer, you need to plant on your farm, whether you want to build a skyscraper, all these sets of people require spatial data and geological data at certain times, and survey data. So it's very important that we get all this right. Now, the other achievements in the LAMSOP sector are 180 staff of the Lands Commission, and members of the Ghana Bar Association have been trained in alternative dispute resolution and mediation to work in land courts. The Lands Commission, and also I must say this, that under the project, the Land Administration Project, some assistance was offered equally to the judicial service to do more, if you like, use more computers and to increase their use of mechanized, processing rather than longhand writing that the judges involve themselves in. 180 staff have been trained. As I said, the Lands Commission, in partnership with the judiciary, has completed the design for establishment of land courts in Kumasi, Takoradi, and Tamale. The refurbishment starts this month and is expected to be completed by end of 2015. 57 customary land secretariats have been established to improve land administration at the customary level. And this is important because we have indeterminate land boundaries. Stools don't know their boundaries, but with the establishment of these customary land secretariats, it is hoped that there will be an interface between the stool lands, which will be captured, and traditional lands which are captured at the secretariat, at the customary secretariat level, and then the formal land registration system. I'm sure you can see pictures now of the Brong-Ahafo Regional Lands Commission Office, the Upper West Regional Lands Commission Office, etc. We have a lot of challenges though, isn't it, in the land sector, and these include indeterminate customary land boundaries, multiple sale of lands, delays in land title registration, and the menace of land guards. So what are we doing? The challenges in the land subsector are being addressed through the ongoing land administration system. Specific interventions, some of which I've mentioned already, include the following: strengthening regulatory framework for land administration, decentralization and improvement in business and service delivery processes through the establishment of client services and access units, which we've just seen pictures of, Bolgatanga, Tamale, Takoradi, Accra, you've seen them all, starting from June when the Accra one will be inaugurated, and then the rest will be commissioned. Continuation of the digitization of land records, which again have started, I've told you about that already, to facilitate easy access to information on land registration. We imagine a day when soon, if you want to do a search on your land, you go to the Lands Commission, you provide a map of the area you want to make an inquiry about, and within an hour or two, at the latest the following day, you get your answers. This is the objective. So we need to improve mapping and spatial data for land administration. And you've heard about the ortho survey that's going on, and this will give us a more detailed and accurate mapping that we can use. Improvement in revenue mobilization from government lands, clearing of backlog of land applications, which we mentioned already. There's a special mopping up operation that took place. Revaluation of properties to improve revenue from property rating in the country. And to assist also, we have made sure that the land administration has supported the AMA to do street naming and to do property numbering. And this will help when trying to know where we have properties and which properties have been valued and evaluated so that we can more easily increase our revenue collection and rating. We are also working on preparation of a land bill. This has suffered a few setbacks, but we are moving on. There's a difference between the land bill and also the land use and spatial planning bill. Now, the land use and spatial planning bill has gone quite far and currently is going to be before Parliament, and we hope the law will pass soon. And with the land bill, we hope that when it's in place, we will accelerate investment in all sectors of the economy. It's been realized that the number of laws that relate to land are many and scattered. And the idea in the land bill is to consolidate, put all these laws together and have one law, which you open and tells you all that you need to know. So we're working hard to get this to happen. Now I'll move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the mining subsector, programs and projects, achievements, challenges, and the way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it's trite saying that minerals and metals are essential raw materials for the industrialization and are critical to transformation of mining dependent economies. Indeed, when properly managed, Mining has the potential to contribute significantly to sustainable development. In 2014, the mining sector, contributed 16% of government revenue as collected by the Domestic Tax Division of the GRA. And in terms of total merchandise exports, the sector contributed 35% in 2014. It's also worthy of note that since 1991, the mining sector has been the single largest contributor to total merchandise export, with gold accounting for as much as 95% of the mineral portfolio. In 2014, Ghana produced over 4.18 million ounces of gold, which resulted in export revenues of over 4.5 billion United States dollars, which is not bad at all. But there are issues and challenges in the production of extractives. Some of the outcomes are degradation of the land, etc. Some of the outcomes also are the need to provide alternative livelihood programs. And therefore, we have the projects and alternative livelihood programs in the communities to mitigate socio-economic impacts of mining on host communities. And among these are to improve give support to small-scale mining by building capacity of small-scale miners to improve their efficiency, to undertake geological exploration in various parts of the country to identify mineralized areas for small-scale miners. And this I'll come back to, but this is all in order to ensure that those who would like to carry on mining do so within the framework of the law. Surveys are done, mineralized land are, if you like, located and known, and then we encourage those who want to mine to apply for such land so they can mine within a regulated framework. Now, concerning the implementation of the alternative livelihood projects in mining communities, this is very important because when mining goes on, it has an impact on the community. And so to mitigate the socio-economic impacts of mining, the ministry implemented the ALPs in mining communities through the creation of non-mining jobs. For example, there has been a plantation initiative, and in particular in the Prisia Winnie Valley area, 23,000 acres of oil palm in the pilot stage has been established, and 23,000 acres of oil palm is now being established in the Dunka Ayamfuri area of the central region. These are pilots, but they are doing very well. Out of the 23,000 acres earmarked for Dunka Ayamfuri, over 6,800 acres of oil palm have been established and currently employs about 7,000 people. And again, I spoke about the need to support small-scale mining so that miners will work within a regulated regime and environment. Ladies and gentlemen, government regards small-scale mining as a legitimate business with a great potential for poverty reduction indeed. Small-scale mining remains the exclusive preserve of Ghanaians who hold licenses obtained from and signed by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Foreigners, on the other hand, by law, are not allowed to engage in small-scale mining in the country. As a way of improving small-scale mining, the Minerals Commission has identified and blocked out areas. I've said that already. Now, 2 new district mining offices of the Minerals Commission have been established at Konongo in the Ashanti region and Wa in the Upper West region to supervise and to monitor the operations of small-scale miners. This brings to a total of 9 the district mining offices of the Commission in the country. We will probably establish a number of other offices because mining has now spread and is getting more and more, if you like, delocalized. So we need to have many more monitoring people on the ground to ensure that things are done right. As part of the engagements of the ministry with the public, various sensitization programs have been organized to create awareness. You probably saw, again, the exhibition. You saw that we went to various parts of the country to do some sensitization here and there to get people to understand about the law of mining and what to do and what not to do. And recently as last week, Friday, I commissioned and unveiled a signage at the airport, the arrival, in Chinese, in French, and in English, because there have been instances where foreigners arrested have said they do not know about the law. We know that ignorance of the law is no excuse, but it's our duty as a government to provide as much sensitization and awareness creation as possible, because some may become aware and may decide not to do it. So that way we don't need to go and fight them and arrest them. Some too may be stubborn and recalcitrant, then those we will tackle. So we've put these signages out, and we're going to do a lot more. Watch out for it. And when we do a major one the next time around, we invite more of the media. If you look into last week, Saturday's graphic, you see the, if you like, the pictorials in there. Now, another area in mining which is very critical is the need to ensure that there's local content. We don't want people to come to Ghana and mine and bring in everything from outside the country. We need to have linkages so that our own people, apart from the export of gold and the revenue that comes direct to government, we want to ensure that there is employment creation which arise directly out of mining activities. Therefore, there's been an increase in local content in the mining sector. Local content refers to what exactly it is that we take into the mining and what it is exactly that we can get locally and use in the mining operations. And the Minerals Commission has developed the first edition of the Local Procurement List 2013, which comprises 8 goods or products which must be procured compulsorily in Ghana for their operations. The list includes grinding media, explosives, cement and cement products, electric cables, tar, retreading, quick and hydrated lime, ATP, PVC pipes, and general lubricants. The ministry will continue to ensure compliance with the local content policies. In fact, we intend to increase the number of items under the local content. Now, we have a geological survey, and they are busy at work. And to complement the efforts of the department in providing seismic data to other organizations regarding management of geological disasters, including earthquakes, the government acquired and installed seismic equipment at the main seismological observatory, Accra, as well as the remote sites, including Weja, Ho, Akosombo, Murantuo Lake, Loposunchi area, and Kukurantumi. Currently, seismic data from all the remote stations are transmitting in real time through satellite transceivers to the main seismological observatory in Achimota, Accra. The recorded seismic data will help to reduce effects of future earthquakes through seismic hazard assessment. If you get to know what's happening seismically, then you can predict. It will help to know what to do and to take steps to move people if we have to move them and avert loss of life, etc. I'll now move to diversification of the mineral production base. I've spoken about mining, and we realize that we depend a lot. I told you how 95% of the minerals portfolio is gold, and that's a lot. We have gold, we have bauxite, we have diamond, but we intend to work harder to diversify. There's lead, there's iron, there are others, and we need to promote more mining in those areas and of those metals and those minerals. We have discoveries in the Boehm Formation